So I found this fun idea from YouTuber AlphaRed, where they went through their favorite mains from various fighting games and put it in a tier list. And they stole it from somebody else, who stole it from somebody else. But I thought I would do a little yoink and twist here and talk about my favorite decks from every card game I've ever played. And it was a pretty fun little exercise to go through, to find all of these deck lists and to, sort of just kind of go through memory lane, because I haven't played a lot of these card games in a while, or a lot of these decks in a while, and I just, it was a fun exercise. So yeah, let's just get into it. So currently, the game I'm playing a lot of right now is Lorcana, Disney's Lorcana. Pretty fun game. I could say that about most of these. But yeah, my favorite game was from set 2, 3, the Ruby Amethyst kind of bounce deck, and really the main star of the show here is Merlin Rabbit. And whenever you play this card and whenever he leaves play, you get to draw a card. So using Madam Mim here, Snake and Fox, you can play the rabbit, then pick it up and draw a ton of cards, and eventually get through your deck. Kind of control the flow of pace, and then try to win the game that way. A very fun deck, lots of drawing cards, which was always super fun. Then another game I played back in the day. This was a collectible card game on the phone. This is Shadowverse, very anime game, and I'm pretty excited to be playing the new Shadowverse game that's coming out in a couple days, actually. Like a Shadowverse 2. But yeah, this was like a way back in the day. And I just was thinking about this, and my favorite deck was this Princess Snow White deck, Havencraft, for whatever that's worth. But basically, this was kind of like a recursive threat, because whenever Princess Snow White would die, she would come back to life as a 2/3, and then there was some synergies with that, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I think this was Havencraft, and this was a pretty fun mid-range deck. All right, next, another collectible card game on this one, also on the phone, is Marvel Snap. Game I played a bunch when it came up. A game I played a bunch when it came out, and this I think is my favorite deck. As you can see here, I went through the whole collection process thing, and I was able to upgrade all of these cards to be black and white. And it was really fun for Arishem specifically, because he would shuffle 12 random cards from the game into your deck, and they would also have the black and white and the border and all that good stuff. And this was a really fun deck for me. It wasn't out. I mean, there was times when it was tier 1, but it was just fun because every single game kind of played out a little differently. You had a little energy advantage, but it was a lot of fun. Then we had Legends of Runeterra. This was another collectible card game on the computer. I think it also had a mobile port. But yeah, this was my favorite deck in Legends of Runeterra. It was a keg control, and basically you'd want to level up your champions, your Gangplank and Sejuani, by attacking your opponent over the course of a lot of different rounds, and they would upgrade into a much more powerful version of themselves. And it was basically a full Bilgewater deck, and played 3 Sejuani, because they had the same effect here. But yeah, a lot of fun deck this was. You had the Dreadway, which would just tutor up your Gangplanks, and you would use Warning Shot, 0 mana, deal 1, to trigger the damaging the enemy Nexus in different rounds. It was super fun also with Warning Shot. Basically, every single time you play a powder, you summon a powder keg, it would stack, kind of like in League of Legends, and then whenever you did damage with an effect, with a parlay or a make it rain, it would explode the barrel, and it would spell power it up. But they were vulnerable because the opponent could kill your barrels. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Now we're playing Pokemon Pocket. I don't think this is a particularly great game, but this is the deck I have or was playing with. When I was playing the Gyarados EX deck, and you'd play like Druddigon to kind of stall to find your Gyarados EX, and then Misty is a busted card, and it would never do anything that you wanted to. I still sometimes like open packs on this game, but definitely don't play it anymore. Then there was Flesh and Blood back in the day. This one was a lot of fun. I didn't really end up playing too much of it because just like there wasn't a big scene where I live. But yeah, this was my favorite deck. It was a Prism, Awakener of Soul. Prism would have a bunch of these like powerful auras that you would be able to put into play on your opponent's turn, and then if you are able to attack. Oh wait, this is the wrong Prism. I had the first Prism, so just kind of ignore this one. But this is the old Prism. The old Prism was the one I liked more. Sculptor of Arclight. I don't know why I got this deck list. I'll probably splice in the next one, the real one. Going over to Yu-Gi-Oh. I like the Watts deck. These three creatures like Watt Cobra, Watt Giraffe. They can attack your opponent's life points directly. And then I would play this version with like a Watt Hoppers, where you would try to put 2 Watt Hoppers into play at the same time, and they would kind of make it so that your opponent can attack into a very fragile deck. And it was terrible, but if you had 2 of these in play, your opponent cannot select another face-up Watt monster as an attack target or target them with card effects. And so if you had 2 of them, they would protect each other and they would protect your whole board. And then you would poke at them with the Watt Cobra until they were dead. Now we're gonna get into a little bit of Magic the Gathering. I kind of to help this out. I'm playing a bunch of different. I did like one for each of the formats I've played in the past. But let's first start off with the Commander decks. I have this like Jelly Bean Omnath Locust Creation. As you can read the card, you can know exactly what it does. It's a landfall deck, pretty powerful. It's definitely my most powerful deck. But there's that. I have this Werewolf deck, which is kind of an aggro deck, and then I have this Zombies, the Scarab God zombie tribal deck. Just putting a bunch of zombies in play, and then dealing a bit of damage with the Scarab God. And then so we go over to Hearthstone. I did my favorite deck from each class in this one, because I played a Magic and Hearthstone are definitely the 2 games I played the most in my lifetime. But yeah, I like this Rainbow Death Knight deck, Rainbow Control, a lot of fun. I haven't played a lot of Demon Hunter. There was like that time in the very beginning when Demon Hunter was like super busted, but recently there was this Armor Demon Hunter list that used these 2 cards. I forgot their name, but this one summoned like Death Rattles that cost 4, and then this one summoned a bunch of these guys. So you'd have like a bazillion Arcanite Defense Crystals, which would gain you like 1,000,000 armor, and then it would annoy the heck out of your opponents. So there was that. I liked this Juicy Psycho Melon, which was like, I think this was super dumb. It would tutor out like 7, 8, 9. You would get Aviana Kun plus like some other stuff, and then you would just like blow your opponent up with like infinite mana back in the day. Not infinite mana, but like you could just play out your whole hand and like kind of OTK them. Hunter, I love mid-range Hunter in like many different forms back in the day, and especially Deathstalker Rexar, where it was like a slow value tool where you can create like a different Zombeast every single turn, stitch together 2 guys. And also you played Call of the Wild, which was just like, I think it would cost an mana back in the neck of the day, but you just summon all 3 animal companions, and it was pretty cool. Mage, there was this like Astromancer, just like big summon a bunch of random stuff kind of deck, which I liked a lot. This was like a Kibler creation. I took it to a tournament one time, got like 2nd place. It's pretty fun. Paladin, old school, anything can happen paladin, summon 7 murlocs that died this game. So you would play like war leaders, old merc guys, blue good warriors, and you just like summon like 10 mana, summon like a bunch of charge minions, try to hit them in the face. Yeah, this was a pretty good deck, pretty fun deck. Priest, another wild deck. This one was wild Reno, Razicus, Priest. So you would play Raz of the Chained, and then Shadow Reaper Anduin, and this one says like its hero power did 2 damage. So and it would refresh whenever you played a card. So you would like put this to play, and then like every single time you played any card with these two, when you had these 2 effects, you could do 2 damage, and then you could like kind of control the board, but usually just like kind of blow your opponent up with a bunch of cheap stuff eventually. Rogue, I liked Galakron Rogue, like again, lackeys and doing this sort of thing always was fun to do different, you know, like to like have like a bunch of randomness in the game, but still pretty powerful stuff. Galakron was. Shaman, there was this even Shaman deck. Even Shaman, again, Greymade, makes your hero powers cost 1, and then you would like, you know, just kind of aggro them out with a bunch of these you know, tools here back in the day. You'd use the Jade package, summon a larger man. You had Jade Claws, Jade Lightning, Aya. I think there's another one. Guess not. And just like kind of tempo and kind of kill your opponent. And you had the 4 mana 7/7 Flame Wraith Faceless. Warlock, I liked Cube Warlock. It was a kind of combo deck where you would summon the who's the guy? Yeah, a bunch of Doom Guards with Skull of Minari, like put demons into play from your hand at the start of your turn. You would get like a charge minion in play. Then you would you know, at some turns you can Spirit Singer Umbra, which like made it so that your death rattles you know, happen immediately, and so you would like cube up your Doom Guards, like hit him for 5, you know, cube, hit him for another 5, like 10, and then you could summon them all back up with Blood Reaver Gul'dan. I liked Pirate Warrior. I actually did like Pirate Warrior. Way back then, like when I was like grinding Hearthstone a lot, I got to I just, this was so fast. You can just like summon, you know, Patches the pirate from your deck, and I made sure to find the version with charge. For the image here, I always get you know, turn 1 Patches into play. Usually, sometimes, you know, you draw him and that really stinks, but yeah, this guy's a fun deck. I guess it was very efficient and, you know, killed opponents really quickly. I played the version with the cannon, and that was really fun as well. Okay, so now going over to a Magic the Gathering again. Pauper. I like these like slow Boros, like kind of like mid-range lists. You would play Experimental Synthesizer, pick them up, a bunch of these different like kind of like these decks. You just like pick up your things and like get a bunch of value, and eventually bolt them out of the game with Galvblast and Atlantic Bolt. I had the standard deck during Dragon's Attack here Standard, which allowed you to so at the time like Mono Red was like one of the better decks, or one of the decks, and I had this, and you would sideboard into Thunderbreak Regent once people you know, like added removal to your deck. But I had this like version, I called it Medium Red, where you just like started pre-board, you played the game pre-boarded, because I thought that the Goblin Rabble Masters were like kind of weak and they would just always die. And then you start and you know, this was like, and you could like Flamewick Phoenix back off of the Thunderbreak Regent. You can also like Lightning Berserker, which is like a red a 1-mana red creature that like you could Fire Breathe onto it. And then back in the day, I didn't really have like much of a sideboard. So I played 4 Black Cats. I showed them to my opponent at the beginning of the game. I said, "Ooh, you have bad luck." And then, you know, that was always really funny. Then we go to Legacy. I didn't play too much Legacy, but I've played in the past, and I would play Burn. Very, very basic, boring, just kill your opponent as fast as possible. Price of Progress, super cool card in this format. You don't get in Modern. Just 2 damage, I think, per each non-basic you have in play. So you can do a lot of damage out of nowhere. Plus, you have Fire Blast, so they're never really safe. Pioneer, Rakdos mid-range, another kind of like mid-range deck. This was the best deck if you wanted to play Thoughtseize and Table the Mirror Breaker, and then a bunch of this like other stuff was just like best creatures to do stuff with. It's a pretty fun deck. It was bad against like some of the things that you tried to go like way over you, but like into the mirror and into like creature decks, you kind of kill everything, and then eventually win with like a Kroxa or a graveyard, like a flip Graveyard Trespasser, and or one of your many creature lands. Very fun deck. Modern. My favorite modern deck was Hollow One. You would cast Goblin Lore, which was like draw 4, discard 3 at random, or Burning Inquiry, draw like both players draw 3, discard 3 at random, and then eventually cast free Hollow Ones. And there's a bunch of like recursive threats like Bloodghast, the Flamewick Phoenix again, or you could like use your graveyard like Gurmag Angler and Tasker, like to 1 mana threats that were pretty strong. Yeah. And you would try to be aggressive and try to do you try to like kind of scam out games, like playing 3 Hollow Ones in a play on turn 2 or whatever. There was a fun story here with this Fairy Macabre. I was like, there's like 1 flex slot in the deck, and I thought it was just like a free discard would be really funny to have, and like maybe this like exile up to 2 cards from graveyards would come up. But it did one time. I was playing against like a Goryo's Vengeance Reanimator deck in like the quarterfinals of this like SCG Invitational Qualifier and IQ, and yeah, they did like they put like the Emrakul in the yard, and then they would try to pick it up, and then I was like, ooh, I have responses, and then I did this, and they're like, oh, you know what, you got me, and then they died, and that was really funny. And yeah, that's all I have today. Thank you for watching.